Hey guys, this is a review of chapter 4. Let's pray. Father, thank you for allowing us to study your word, write it on the table of our hearts so that we would always remember. Help us to retain what it is that we're learning. In Jesus' name, amen. So this is a review. Let me strongly urge you to know your vocabulary by now, how to write it, how to read it, how to say it. Your vowels are just as important. By now, you should know and have memorized every one of the vowels, whether it's a long changeable, long unchangeable, short vowel, the hetefs, as well as the diphthongs. It's going to be important that you get chapter 4 moving forward so that when we start prefixing, you will understand what it means to have vocalic vowel changes simply because you're attaching either to gutturals or baguette, the fats, or words that will either be reduced or experience compensatory lengthening of words. In other words, you go from the short vowel to a long vowel, and then reduced vowels go from a long vowel to a short vowel. So just remember, in these exercises, we're really experiencing vowels or words that go from kind of a long or a vowel or an extended vowel or an expanded vowel to a condensed way of speaking, a short vowel. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Let's look at the first concept here. And the first concept here, we are literally talking about pluralization without vocalic changes. And what that really does mean is that because there's a long vowel involved, you will not need to change anything except for adding the reduction. So just keep remembering that is the goal of really understanding what that means. When there's no changes, that means that you're dealing with a long unchangeable vowel. Well, as we continue on, I want you to know that this section here is going to talk about the monosyllabic nouns. Those are the nouns that only have one syllable and then it has an unchangeable vowel. In the next one, we're going to talk about two syllables where the first syllable has a vocal schwa or a hetef, as well as a long unchangeable vowel in the second syllable or the tone syllable. Okay, there are two words that we are going to play with to get the pattern, and we're going to be using the form. And those two words include sheer, which is going to go to shireen, which is the plural form, and oat, which is going to go to the otot form in the two syllable unchangeable vocalic changeable vowels. So here we go. Let's make sure you are able to see your screen. And okay, so this form and forms like it is simply kind of a template that helps you walk through the system. How do you read it? This, of course, will not be here where it says sheer to shireen. You will want to write your words directly in the white boxes. All right. So you would put your tonic, your pretonic, and then followed by the entire writing of the word. In the blue box, you'll see the masculine ending versus the feminine ending. And then down below, you'll answer the questions. So, for instance, on this one, we're talking about sheer. That's going to go to shireen. So is it a one syllable? Yes, because we are only pronouncing one syllable. Makes sense? So shireen. Get my pen up here. All right. And then is it a long changeable vowel? in this is the long changeable vowel present in this word? Yes, we see that with the here yud, so we can say yes. If one of those two questions were not was no, then you could not use this form. You would go on to something a different form. Okay, so I'm going to write the tonic, and the tonic begins with a sheen. We know that the sheen is always a dot over the right leg of the letter, and followed by Hirik, Yud. We know that this is a long changeable vowel because it is a vowel letter. And then the Mem Sofit. We always put Sofit at the very end of the word. If it falls in the middle or the beginning of the word, then we use the regular Mem. So here, once again, I am going to write out now what's going to become the pretonic syllable, okay, along with its vowel, long vowel. But I am going to put the mem in the masculine ending because it is a masculine word. Now, always, 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 make sure that you understand what the endings are. So a masculine singular noun could take a feminine plural ending. So it's important that you check your lexicon to make sure that you are putting the correct ending on your words. All right, here we go. So we know that I actually wrote the wrong letter, got anxious and wrote the wrong letter. This should have been a resh here. And we're going to type a resh, write a resh here. And of course, you're going to make for sure that you do that really neatly. If you have sloppy handwriting in English, try to have neat handwriting in Hebrew. So now we're able to pull this together according to the pattern. Notice that I am constantly saying what this letter is. I am practicing what it is. So this is the sheen, followed by Hirik Yud, which is a long vowel, followed by a resh, which is a guttural. And now it has the masculine plural ending, which is a Hirik Yud with a mem sofit to end. When we pronounce this word, it will be she, reem, shreem. If I check it to the printed one, it's correct. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next form. We're going to transform this feminine word ot to otot. It does have a feminine ending, the tav. Looking it up in the lectionary or the lexicon, it does show that it does take a feminine ending. So I'm going to use my form here, write out the first initial letter, the first radical, which is the aleph. We know that the aleph is a silent letter, so we're going to give it its vowel sound, the colon vav. That's going to make the O sound, and then the final letter of the singular, this feminine singular, will be tav. Bringing down the exercise, aleph and ot. Okay, so that's the ot, or I'm sorry, the ot, the O, and that's with the column vav. And then I'm going to pull the tav in the new tonic syllable. Okay, so notice that these two are going to come together. Now, when I pull this together, Again, I write my guttural aleph, silent letter, my colon vav, my tav, a baguette letter, along with its vowel, colon vav. It's a long changeable, and the tav. So we have oat, tote, oat, tote, o, tote, o, tote. Okay, and I've checked it, and it is correct. All right, let's go on to the next section. This time, we are still dealing with plurals that will not have any vocalic changes, but this time we're going to be dealing with two syllables. The first syllable must be a vocal schwa and a hetef vowel. The second syllable will be an unchangeable long vowel. Okay, the two words that we are going to deal with right now is the word for street. And let's go ahead and change our screen for you. The word for street and the word for dream. So we're going to go from Rahov and to Rahovot. And the next one, we're going to change it for dreams, Halom to Halomot. Notice that we both have two plural endings, two plural feminine endings, okay? The first, and both of these words look like they're masculine, but in its plural form, it's going to take a feminine ending. Let's go and go to the next screen and use our form. So the questions below, is it two syllables? Yes, it is. Rahov. And the next one, does it have a schwa in the first syllable? Yes, it does. And then is there an unchangeable vowel, which is really a key indicator that you're not going to have any vocalic changes. And so, yes, there is. Okay, so let's write out what's going to go in the pretonic. The pretonic here is the resh with the schwa. And then the tonic is the chet with a colon vav and a baguette kafat letter vet. And we know it's vet because there's not a dagesh in the middle there. Okay, I'm going to do this again. We've got the resh with a colon. The pretonic will be the chet with the colon vav. It's unchangeable, so we shouldn't be changing anything. And then we're going to take that last letter and put it with the feminine ending, which will recreate our closed syllable vote. Okay, pulling it all together. Just my tablet. So we have resh, chet, colon vav, vet, colon vav, ending with a tav for the plural ending. So rahovot. All right. Okay. Hopefully you're following along, and always feel free to use your clicker and pause the video. That is the nice thing about working with a video. You can always pause it, go back, rewind it, do that as often as you can. All right, so we do have another word that's a two-syllable word. It looks like a masculine, however, it does take a feminine plural ending. And my questions, yes, it's two-syllable. It does have a schwa in the first syllable, and it has a long changeable vowel in the tonic. Let's write. So we're going to write our guttural, and the vowel does have a reduced vowel, which is the hetef patak. And notice that, you know, gutturals really like A class vowels, and certainly in the pro-Plutonic will like this hetef patak. They tend to prefer that. So especially in open syllables, or open pro-Plutonic syllables. Okay, I got off track. Let's we're going to write our lamet with a colon vav and our mem sofit. Mem sofit. Okay. And that really shouldn't have a tail on it. So I'm going to see if we can clean that up again. And again, you know, as you are thinking about your penmanship in writing, if you tend to be a little sloppy with your English writing, try to be as neat as you can with your Hebrew. And why? Because one little dot can change the meaning, right? It can change the word. So don't eat Oreo cookies and cause your pen to lay down and create little dots and dashes, because they do have a meaning. Well, just like in math, we are going to bring down the chet with its hetef, reduced vowel. We're going to bring down the lamet with its long changeable vowel. And we know that this is going to take a feminine ending. So we're going to pull the mem over into the feminine ending section. Now, because the mem is now in the middle of the word, we are going to go back to the regular mem and write that. We never put a mem. We never put a mem in the middle of the word. A mem sofit in the middle of the word. Okay, so here we go. We write down our chet with its hetef, with a followed by our lamet and colon vav, followed by our mem, followed by its vowel, and final letter tav. And so when we pronounce this, it's halomot, halomot. Let's go ahead and look at the pluralization with pre-tonic reduction, pro-pre-tonic reduction. The farther away you get from the tonic, the farther away you get from the tonic, the shorter the syllable, the vocalization will be typically. So let's look and see some of the conditions that we're talking about. Okay. All right. So here are the key indicators, and all of these indicators must be settled. So is it 2 syllables? That's what you're going to ask yourself. Is the tone syllable, the last syllable, accented? I cannot stress enough that you understand that the last syllable, if there's no other accents in the word, the last syllable is the accented tone. And then the pre-tonic syllable has a changeable vowel. That means that you can change it. If it's an unchangeable vowel, which usually is, that's usually going to have a vowel letter, okay, attached to it, or a shurek, then it's going to be unchangeable. So we're talking about the changeable vowels here. Okay, let's go let's take a look at what words we're going to use. And my little screen decided that it wanted to go all the way up to the top of the screen, and we don't want that. All right, so 2 words, one devar to devarim, and the other one is going to be lavav, and we're going to change that to the pluralization of la, vo, lava, vote, lava, vote. All right, let's look at the form. In the form, again, we're going to follow the rules, right? So we are looking at a masculine singular noun. We're going to change it into we're going to pluralize it. We're going to change it to a plural noun. It is going to be in the masculine form. So we are going to use this format. This word devar is 2 syllables. The last syllable is accented, and the changeable vowel in the pretonic is changeable. The vowel in the pretonic is changeable. Okay, let's write the pretonic. So the pretonic begins with a dalet. And often when it's the initial letter, you will see the dagesh lineh that allows me to know how to pronounce it. And then the tonic has the vet, a baguette fet letter with a kmetz and a resh. So da var. All right. Let's pull down the propretonic. The new propretonic will be the dalet, okay, with its dagesh, and the pretonic will now be the vet with its kamatz, and the resh here will be inserted in the masculine singular ending. So let's finish this word up by writing the dalet. And notice I am constantly repeating myself. And what I'm really doing is storing this information in my brain. And when you find that it gets to be monotonous and you're tired of repeating yourself, it probably does mean that you know it. You know it automatically. You're able to write it and talk at the same time. You're not having to really think about it because you know it. Okay, so I saw my baguette kafet letter, dalet, followed by another baguette kafet letter, the vet, with a guttural resh and with the mem. And then my vowel letters is kamatz, hirik, yud, and that's it. And when I check it against what's out there, right, it says that we're good as gold, right? We match, these 2 match. Okay, hopefully you are following right along. And when you get a chance to pause the video, go ahead and pause it and practice. Don't feel like you have to watch it and all the way through and then go practice. You can always practice right away. Okay, so the next one is lavav, and we see it's 2 syllables, and it is accented on the last syllable, and the pretonic has a changeable vowel. As I write the pretonic, which is the lamed and the sere, and pronounce that Sadi better than I do. It's sere, I can't do it, but pronounce it better than I do. And then the tonic is the baguette kafet letters with their vowel pointing, the changeable vowel pointing. And so this last syllable, which very much looks like a geminate, so it seems to have held its geminate status, is vav. Vav. Isn't that interesting that the vowel in our heart sounds kind of like Vav. Anyway, I don't know if that helps your memory. And so we're going to bring this down. Lamet with the Sere, and the pre-tonic is the vet with its Kemet, and then we are dealing with a feminine ending, and so we're going to attach the second Beget Kafet letter into the area for the feminine ending. Now let's bring it all down and write the word Le, Va, Vim. Okay. Notice that I am writing an unchangeable vowel. And did I do that right? No. See, you guys are supposed to call me on that. I didn't write that word right because I didn't follow my own pattern. I did that purpose. No, I didn't. I did that purpose. No, I didn't. I really didn't. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at my husband and falling in love all over again because my heart was just going. Boop, 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 boop. All right. So Lev, and then Va, and writing the second Beget Kafet letter with a colon vowel. So hopefully you were screaming at the video going, no, that's wrong, that's wrong. And you would have been absolutely correct. And so as we look and check it, it is correct. All right. I think we're cooking with gas. All right. So in this next section, we're going to look at the gutturals. And gutturals sometimes can be a little bit intimidating, but don't let it be, because remember, we're only dealing with 4 gutturals plus the resh. So strong gutturals, we have the hey and the het, and these are considered strong. And then the weak gutturals are the silent letters, ayin, and of course the aleph. Okay, and resh is also considered. It's interesting because my brain really wants to just write an R. Okay, did you see that? My brain wanted to write an R, and I'm also writing left to right when I should be writing right to left. Okay, so watch for those gutturals. Nouns with initial gutturals, guttural consonants, cannot take a vocal schwa. That's just the rule. Cannot take a vocal schwa. The initial letter cannot take a vocal schwa. It has its own tone, and so when that happens, it's always going to be a hetef, or a reduced vowel. Okay, it does prefer the hetef patak. Remember on page 30. We're going to look at 2 words. The first word is ana, and we're going to convert the singular masculine word to ananim, and then we're going to and you know what? And for whatever reason, I don't think these 2 words are correct, the English words. So look those up. But we're going to go ahead forward with this video. And then we're going to convert the cha ser to cha say wrote. Okay, so notice the feminine endings there. Let's go ahead and remember what the preference is for gutturals. Okay, the preference for a proprytonic syllable is that it's open. It's in an open proprytonic syllable. So if we were to look at devarim, notice that this is the proprytonic, this is the pretonic, and this is the tonic. Okay, the further away, the shorter goes. So if you kind of think about, it's a descent. The same though, it's going down. Okay, and maybe I'm not pronouncing that right, but the the sound, the vocalic sound is getting shorter. It's getting shorter, okay? So it goes a reduced vowel, and then it has a short vowel, and then it has a long unchangeable vowel, okay? So notice that Elohim has a reduced vowel, it has a long changeable vowel, and then it has, which is shorter, longer than this one, and then this is a long changeable vowel. So remember, what type of syllable do the vocal schwa or hetef vowels prefer? It prefers an open protonic syllable, open protonic syllable. All right, let's go to the form and see what we can get into. We answer these questions. Yes, it is 2 syllables. The last syllable is accented, and the changeable vowel in the pretonic. There is a changeable vowel in the pretonic. Okay, here we go. So the pretonic, anan, anan is the komets, and then we have the noon and komets, and then the noon sofit. Okay, the noon sofit. So anytime you hear sofit, you know that that's going to change to the regular nun when we actually start drawing the other letters. Okay, let's pull this down. We have the ayin. Okay, we have the ayin, and because it is a guttural, it will reduce to a hetef patak, or patak hetef, and then the noon is going to be in the pretonic, and then we are dealing with a masculine ending. We do have to convert the noon sofit into its regular nun form because it's in the middle of the word now. So as we write this word, we have the hetef, an ayin with the hetef. We have the noon with a patak. And then we have a noon again with a hirik yud, a long unchangeable vowel, followed by the mem sofit. And if I check it, it checks out. Okay. Let's continue on. This next word we're going to look at is the chaser. So that is a 2-syllable word. We're going to evaluate the last syllable, which is the accented syllable, because I don't see any other accents. And we're going to determine if the sere is a changeable vowel. And yes, it is. We also need to figure out, is this going to, this masculine noun going to convert to a, or take a feminine ending, and it will. So we're going to choose the feminine ending there. Always remember looking at your lexicon to make sure that you are properly understanding the gender of the word. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and write the pretonic. Let's say the word again, chaser. So chaser. So we hear the cha, and then we hear ser, that's the tonic. So I've got the sadi and the resh. And, you know, the resh really does have a curve letter. It's curved here. So just make sure that it looks curved. And then let's make sure that we put the proper vowel pointings there. Okay. Is that the proper vowel pointings? Did you catch my error? All right. Hopefully you caught my error. It's important to write down the proper vowel pointings. Why? Because you could be writing a completely different word. Okay, here we go. So let's bring down the chet. The chet is going to be reduced because now it's the furthest. It's no longer next to the tonic. It's not going to be influenced by the tone of the tonic. So, so we are going to reduce. We're going to reduce the vowel to a hatef. Let's bring down the sade. That's going to have a sere at its vowel. And then we said that it is a feminine ending. So we're going to take this resh and put it right next to the ot for a new tonic. Rewriting now the entire word, het with the hetef, sade with a sere. Almost sounds like a song, doesn't it? And then the resh. I literally just put my pen down and it made a mark with the kolumbav and tav. Okay. All right. So let's check it against our word here. Chaserot. Chaserot. And looks like we are cooking with gas. All right. Let's continue on. But before we continue on to the next section, I wonder if we might consider what happens if we have a two-syllable and the last tone is accented, but the vowel in that last tone, the tonic, is what happens if it's not unchangeable, right? What happens if it's not unchangeable? Well, it's no big deal because we know that if it's not changeable, then it's not changeable. We can't do anything of it. So the key to questions, is it two-syllable and is the last tone accented, still stands. We just won't change the vowel. So nouns with the vowel letter, unchangeable long vowel in the first syllable will not experience pretonic reduction, page 30 from Van Pelt's book. Okay, so let's see if we can make this happen. So we've got the kokav. It is a masculine ending, so we're going to mark that in our answer here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Ready? So we're gonna write it the same way. This is a baguette letter. It has a dagesh in it, and it does have a unchangeable long vowel, long unchangeable vowel. That's fine. Okay, that's just fine. Okay, then we're gonna write down the tonic and a baguette letter, vet, complete down. Here's where we might have wanted to put the schwa here. We might want to put the schwa, but we can't because there's a unchangeable vowel here. So this stands, okay? We don't have to do anything with that. And then we're going to move, just like we've been doing, we're going to move the baguette to the new tonic syllable and now write the entire word. Bringing it down just like math. And writing the Hirik, Yud, and the ending. And we've got Ko, that did not change from the original. Ka, right? Now that's the pretonic. And then Vim. Ko, Kavim. Ko, Kavim. All right? I hope that makes sense. Okay. You cannot reduce what you cannot reduce, but it still follows. It still follows. So for me, the key is the last syllable accented? And so if the last syllable is accented, then you're going to follow the rules of reduction. Okay. Well, let's move to another section. Feel free to change. And I have a feeling that you all did not see this screen. So let me just go through it. Just in case you all did not see this screen. I don't think you did, because I looked up and it was on the last screen. So what did I do? I put the Ko in the pretonic, okay, because it has a colon vowel, a long unchangeable vowel. Then I moved to the tonic, which was the Kav. And then I pulled it down just like math and rewrote the pro-pretonic. That's the new syllable as Ko, because I can't change that vowel. And the pretonic is still Ka, but I moved the baguette kafet letter over to the masculine endings to make Vim, right? Vim. So Ko, Kavim. All right. So it's important that you just follow that. Sorry that the screen didn't move, but that's okay. You got a little break on your eyes. All right. So do feel free to pause this video and take a break. Get yourself a drink, walk around, think about what has already been explained, and then come back. In this next section, we are going to look at pluralization of seglet nouns. Okay, so what are we doing here? So one of the things that I want you to remember, has to be two-syllable, and the first syllable must be accented in order for it to be a seglet noun, okay? In order for it to be a seglet noun. So as we are looking at this, let's see if we can get this to advance, because it did not advance before, and that is just not good. The vowel pattern of seglet nouns will vary in singular. However, they will always have the same vowel pattern in the plural. And I'm going to show you that on the next screen. But let's just kind of look real closely at this. So here we have two seglets, okay, under the first and second letters. Here we have a seglet and a patak. Okay, now pay no attention to this little dot because I have no idea why that's there. But here we have a colon, okay, and a seglet. And then we have a sere and a seglet. You can also have you can also have no seglets, okay, and it still be a seglet vowel, seglet noun. The thing is the first syllable accented? That's the key indicator. Is the first syllable accented? That's the key. So as we continue here, notice that when it pluralizes, it has the same pattern. It will have a schwa, a kometz, and then the ending. A schwa, kometz, then the ending. So notice this is one of the easiest forms, easiest vowel patterns to do. okay? Because there's no thinking. You simply just plug and play. All right, let's look at these words, and we're going to switch them over, and let's see what we can do. Okay, using the form. All right, 2-syllable, yes. First syllable accented. How do I know that? It's right here. Look at the top left of your screen. That accent is right there, okay? And changeable vowel in the pretonic. Yes, those are changeable vowels. Okay, let's plug and play. So we have melech. So melech. And we have the lamad, lamed, and the kaf sofit. Okay, a baguette, kafet letter. All right. It is a masculine. Okay, and it will take a masculine ending. Bringing it down. I've already put in what should go here. Okay, so that we can remember. Okay, so we have a mem with a schwa. We have now the lamed will now get a kametz. Okay, we're not gonna do anything with the sego. The kametz has the sego has lengthened to a kametz. It is masculine, and it is a kaf sofit. We know that we have to convert it back to its regular form, because we don't put sofits in the middle of a word. As we now write this, we have the mem with a schwa, a lamed with a kametz, a kaf with a hirik yid mem. And there you have it. Okay, let's try another. Okay, nefesh, nefashot, looks masculine singular, but takes a feminine ending. So we're using the feminine ending. Again, look it up in the lexicon. Make sure you know what you're working with. So we have the noon with a sigol. We have the fey, not the pay, but the fey, right? Because it doesn't have a dagesh. Now, here I'm running my mouth, and I put that in the wrong space, because we want to make sure that we understand that the ne is the pretonic, and the fe is part of the tonic, along with the final letter, which is shin. So nefesh. All right. Continuing on, we're plugging and playing. We got rid of the sagol, and we have a schwa because it's been reduced. The fe becomes a fa. All right. And then it is a feminine ending. So we're going to take the shin and plug it over here. And now we have ne fa shot, nefashot. Okay, and I'm going to rewrite it. With this pointing, nefashot. And a baguette that letter tav. And looking at my lexicon over on the left, it works out. Okay, let's do another seglet. This time we have two seglets, Herev, and it does take a feminine ending. So again, we are looking at this pattern here. Two syllables. First syllable is accented. We know that from here. And then the pretonic is changeable, right? The pretonic is changeable. Let's continue. So we have the chet with its sickle. We have resh, a guttural, with its sickle, and the final letter is a vet because it does not have a dagesh. We pull down the chet and put the sickle here. I've already written it out for you, but that's where it would go. Then we have the resh with a kamat according to the rule, and we're going to pull this vet over in the new tonic area, and that's all we do. Now we're ready to actually write the word, and let's see, get my cursor going here, and we've got the chet, ra, va, ot. It really does help in terms of pronunciation too, to kind of think through syllabification. So the charabot, charabot. Now, of course, I'm not a native Hebraist linguist, so I'm probably butchering the poor language, but you get the idea that as you feel comfortable, you'll find that you'll pronounce better. Okay, do suggest that you find a rabbi and really learn how to put the accents where they go, because the accent really means that you're going to stress that last syllable. Okay, let's look at the word for book and books. Say fair, sefarim. Okay, it is a masculine ending. Looking at the questions, it is two syllables, and it is accented on the first syllable, and it has a changeable vowel in the pre-tonic. Okay, the sere is the changeable vowel. So let's go ahead and look at the pre-tonic, and we're gonna write the samek. Okay, it's one of the sibilant consonants. The sibilant is the S, the sound. The tonic has the fe because it doesn't have a dagesh, so we're not pronouncing it as pay, but fe. Pulling it down, we are gonna put the samek with the schwa, and the comments, the fe with the comments, and the resh with the masculine ending, making a new tonic. All right, here we go. Se, fe, fa, ring. How did we do? Let's check it against our little lexicon over there. And looks like we did pretty good. How'd you do? Hopefully you did pretty well. Well, let's keep going. It's always fun to see what kind of trouble we can get into. And looks like my screen doesn't want to change. All right. So here we go. Boker. Sometimes you'll hear me say Erev Tov or Boker Tov. Good morning, good evening. So Boker means morning, and Tov means good. So good morning, Boker Tov. All right, here we go. We see the accent. So that's good. And we see the resh. It does have a masculine plural ending. It does take a masculine plural ending. It is 2 syllables. First syllable is accented. Yes, it is. And it's changeable vowel. Yes, it is. We do have a changeable vowel there. So let's see what we can get into. Yes. All right. Now I'm going to erase this so that you can actually see the vowel that we're working with. The Beged Kafet letter begins with a B as in bet, with a column, a defectively written column, as its vowel pointing. The tonic syllable, syllable is a quoth or cough. It's the big one. It is not part of the Beged Kafet, and it has a seglet followed by the final letter of Resh. We're bringing this down and do a lot better job in writing, because I really wrote that and it kind of looks funny to me. So I'm just going to rewrite it. And don't feel like you can't erase. That's why you have an eraser, right? So erase and start over if you need to. So I've got the bet with the schwa, followed by a kaf with a kametz, and a resh in the plural ending. That gives me a new tonic. As I write, I am looking at rewriting the final word. And this gives me practice writing with the Hirik Yud and a Mem. And we have Bakarim. And remember the stress is on this last syllable. Well, we got through the segments, guys. How about that? All right, we're almost done. So just know that we've got one more, and then one more segment to do. That's a different one than we had before. And know that you're doing really good. Yeah, we're cooking with gas. This one, we're going to find that we don't have any seglets in the radicals, underneath the radicals. But we know that it's seglet because it's accented on the first syllable. Okay, so just know that. So is it 2 syllables? Yes. Is it a first syllable accent? Yes. Is the changeable vowel in the pretonic? No, but that's okay. All right. So here we go. Writing the noon with a patak in the pretonic, and then the ayin, a guttural, silent guttural, with a patak, followed by a resh, another kind of guttural, right? It's looped in with the gutturals, but it's not technically a guttural. So I'm going to bring down my problem. I have a noon that's going to turn into, that patak will reduce to a schwa. The ayin will become a comment, and the resh, we discovered that it is a masculine because of the dictionary, and the resh will be added to the new tonic and attached with the plural ending suffix. Okay, so I'm going to now write the word all spelled out. Try to be as neat as we can. Doesn't always happen with my poor little hands. But I think you should be getting a good feel for how we convert singular to plural by now. All right, so let's check it. Does it look like this? The lexical form? Yes, it does. Na a ring, not a ring, not a ring. All right, let's look at the plural. And I'm always curious as to why it does not go to the next. I really am. Double click left. And I'm playing around with my cursor, and it just doesn't want to change. So I put all these dots all over my machine. Okay, here we go. Pluralization of the geminate. I promised we were going to get to the geminate, and geminate just is it. You think of Gemini. I don't like to do that because I don't support the following of astrological signs. This is silly. You're a Christian. Follow Christian. That's who you are. Okay, so geminate nouns have or had two identical twin root consonants. So as we begin to understand the geminate, just know that it just means twin in Latin, and when it goes to the plural form, we will get a sense of the twin when we see the dagesh forte. So questions that we're asking is it two syllables? Is it, I'm not sure if this is, you know what? Don't pay attention to this, okay? Because this is a holdover from another screen that I just didn't change. So forgive me for not being more careful in my slides. All right, so when nouns of this type are pluralized, and I'm getting this straight from the book, the consonant that originally appeared twice will now be written once with the dagesh forte, indicating the lost geminate consonant. Again, this is from your book, I think page 32. When possible, simply reduce the vowel. If long, make it short. So what is it really saying? A sere will go to a herek. A kametz will go to a patak. A cholim will go to a kibbutz. And maybe the patak will just stay a patak, okay? You might have said, maybe a reduced hitaf if it's a guttural, yeah. But if it's already a short A, you're fine, okay? So just know there's a reduction. The book Van Pelt doesn't really go into a great amount of detail, so you really just analyze what he has on this paper, what he has on his book, and derive what the pattern is going to be. That's basically what I did, as well as research the internet. Okay, we're going to go from am to meme. Notice that I double the mem, right? When you see the dagesh forte, it means to double it, right? So meme. The hates becomes a chitz seam. Heats seam. So again, you're doubling the side. Coke becomes hook king. Hook king. So just know that you're simply doubling it, and it's going to show up. It's gonna show up. It's gonna show up when you actually pluralize it. So as you can see, the words that we're going to be looking at is to meme. Chitz to chitz sing. Chok or chok to ku Keem, Keem. All right. All right. Let's look at the form. Okay. Let's talk about so first thing I'm going to do is write my word with a patak. And a mem. Okay. And I'm looking here saying, the original is a mem, so it probably is going to go to a patak. The original is a patak. It's probably going to go to a patak. Okay, so I'm going to bring down the pretonic. Okay. And I am going to move the mem into the masculine ending. And remember, because it is going to be in the middle, right? Now, here's what I'm going to do with, just to show you, is really there's a mem here. Okay, we don't write it, but just to show you there's a mem here when you pronounce it. Okay, meme, right? So let's look at this. So we've got the ayin with a patak, and we have the mem with the plural ending, and I'm putting a dagesh here to show that there is a doubling of that letter. Okay, the doubling of that letter. Let's try another. Okay, the word is Kate's, and it's going to go to Hitsim, one syllable. And is it a long, unchangeable? Okay. It's a long, changeable. Okay. And I think this is just a typo, so don't worry. Okay. Okay, here we go. We have the tonic, the chet with the sere, and a sadi sofit. And then we have the chet. Looking at my chart, it's going to go to a hirik with a regular sadi, and we're just going to put a dagesh here. Now, remember, we're pronouncing it. We're not writing two letters. We're just pronouncing it. So Hitsim. Okay. Now when I write it, I've got the chet with an hirik, a sadi with the dagesh forte, a hirik as the masculine ending, plural ending, and a mem sofit. And if I check it, it looks like it worked. All right, one more. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, went way past. All right. Okay, this one is hook. Okay, so we've got the guttural chet with a colon, defectively written. All right. And if I look at that, it's going to turn into a kibbutz, or kibbutz. So cholim. I mean a chet with a kibbutz, and the kof is going to go here with a dagesh in the middle, and we might as well still the letter just to remind us to remind us to pronounce it, but we just don't write it. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Who, hook, ke, hookim, hookim, hookim. Gotta remember to write that little dagesh in there. One of these days, I'm going to write really neat, and it's going to be looking so good. All right, there you go. Hookim. Sometimes you say it so fast that you don't really realize that you're saying it. I sure wish I understood, though, how this works. See how I'm scribbling at the top of my screen? There is a way to do it. I just sometimes I do it and sometimes I don't. Okay. In this next section, we're talking about pluralization of masculine noun endings. Why do I stress masculine? Because you're not asking if these are masculine nouns. They are masculine noun endings. But the difference is what we're going to study next are their masculine noun endings with the sego hey at the end, which can drive you crazy because you know that the hey is usually a feminine ending. So know that these are masculine endings that have the sego hey ending. Okay, so 2-syllable last letter ends in a hey that's preceded by a sego. All right. So as we're studying this, don't get this confused. All right. When you look at words, examine them, scrutinize them, look for clues to what they are. Okay. Masculine nouns ending with the sego hey frequently takes the feminine plural ending, okay, with oat, okay. There's always exceptions to rules, but just know that that's a rule. So go ahead and know this rule. That's a rule. All right. And then what you're going to do is drop these to go hey and add the ending. That's all you're going to do. How do you know what ending? A good lexicon lets you know the gender and the plural form. You're tired of me saying that, aren't you? Lexicon. You gotta do the work. Gotta put in the work. So just kind of know that you not just kind of know. You have to know that you have to look up words. Okay. All right. So we're looking at 3 words: fields, work, and camps. And we're looking at sadeh to sadot. Now notice the next 2 words because it has a masculine ending. Ma'aseh to ma'asim, for camps. Ma'chaneh to machanim. So here we go. Let's do this. We have this. We're almost done. We're cooking with gas, aren't we? I like that saying. I don't know why I like that saying, but I like the saying. Okay, so the first, you know what's wrong, right? You know what's wrong? I do. I forgot to change the screen. Okay, so take a break. I'll be back. Take a break. I'll be back. Take a break. I'll be back to figure out what I did, what I done did. What I done did, I forgot to pull it over, so I've got to pause my little video and make sure that, oh man, and I don't know. I hope that you've been looking and seeing the video. Oh boy, that's scary, isn't it? I hope you've been seeing the screens. I do. I hope you've been seeing the screens. I won't know until I look at the video, but I'm going to pause this and fix my screens, and then I'll be right back. Okay. Well, let's see if I fixed it. Man, I hope so. I hope so. Let's see what we got. Let's go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so what we're doing is checking out and just making sure that we understand what we're going to do. We're going to dealing with the pluralization of masculine nouns, and we're going to turn Sade into Sadot, and then Ma'ashe into Ma'ashim, and Ma'kane into Ma'kanim. All right, and let's see how we do that. Let's go to the form, and the form is going to let us, pull things into perspective. Okay, there's not a whole lot of changes you're going to have to make. It's just that you just have to know that there are differences. So here we go. So we see that it does fit the Segohe form. So we know we can do this, right? So the first thing we do is we write down our scene, and it is with a kametz. Then it has your dalet with a Segohe, right? And that's our telltale sign, okay? That's our telltale sign, right? This is a masculine. This is a masculine, all right? But with a feminine ending, where we will now drop, we're going to drop the hay and the Sego and the hay. Okay, so let's go ahead and write it out. Okay, so we will not have a pro-pretonic. Okay, so I'm going to keep it in this realm here. The sa. Okay, not going to lose that. And then it tells us to move the dalet over here. And just for the sake of showing you, we literally got rid of the Sego and the hay. Okay. And I like to think of this as being absorbed by big column, right? That's just a strong letter. It's a strong letter. So it absorbs it. It's like a sponge. It just absorbs the sound. So when we write it, we have the scene with its kametz, the dalet, and the feminine ending ot. So sadot, and that's what we have over here. Okay, let's go to a new one and see what we can do. I just keep trying. Get my little pen to work. This is my little pen I'm talking about. And I obviously, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I just started scribbling all over all kinds of stuff. You all didn't see that though. Okay. See, it did it that time. I don't know what I did different. Okay. Maase. All right, so it is multiple syllables. It's not just two syllables, but it is more than one syllable, maase. All right, so the pretonic, we have ma with the patak and ma'a. I'm just gonna stick it with the pretonic, even though it's really a pretonic, a propretonic, and a tonic. I'm just going to put it all up here for the sake of pattern. We got the say, okay, and so here's your telltale sign. You know that that's going to go away. You know that that's going to go away. The sigol and the hey is going to go away. All right. Now I'm going to bring it down. We do have a masculine ending. Okay. All right. So the propretonic will be ma. Okay. And we have the iron with a hatef. It is a masculine ending. So we're going to pull the sing into the plural ending. So now it's just a matter of pulling down the word, right? Okay. Ma. By the way, be consistent on how you wrote right. I wasn't, and that's why I paused up here. That's why it looks really funky right here, because I wasn't consistent. I started with the line, and if you become consistent with how you write, your writing will improve over time. If you keep changing up, it's gonna just be sloppy. So just know that that is important to be consistent on how you write your Hebraic words. Okay, so that was really sloppy. I think this whole thing is sloppy. Maybe it's because my pen is kind of thick. I don't know. I'll use any kind of excuse. It's because I'm just being sloppy. Okay, so mem, iron. And remember, don't take yourself so seriously. Allow yourself to make mistakes and erase them. You're in a learning mode. I'm in a learning mode. So give yourself a break and show yourself grace. And there it is. Ma'asim. I want to say shim. Ma'asim. All right. Okay. Well, I tell you what, we're on the last screen. Okay, here we go. So we have two syllables and it ends in the sigol hey. We know we're going to get rid of that. So the word is machane. Machane. So ma cha. That's a guttural. Ne. Mahane. Very quiet and hey. Okay. Here we go again. Ma. Notice no reduction there. Che. Cha, I should say. So reduced vowel. And nim. Okay, we're gonna rewrite it. And notice that the hey dropped out. Notice that the hey dropped, the A dropped out. Talking about here and here. Okay, so notice that it dropped out. That's all you're doing with this particular one here. Okay, with the Hetef Batak, and then Nim. Okay, and that is it. Okay, well, folks, how are we doing? How are we handling ourselves? Are we doing pretty good? One of the things that we do know is that as we practice, as we allow ourselves to practice, we get just that much better. That much better. Boy, I hope you saw that last screen. You know, I'm going to do that last screen over because I'm not sure if my screen changed. It may have, and it's not going to hurt you to look at it one more time if you were able to see it. But when I looked up, I thought I saw something weird. So I'm going to complete this mem here, right? Now, what in the world? Like my hand just went crazy, right? The mem. And oh, look at there. See, that's what happens when I want to redo something. Okay, here we go. The mem and the het. Okay, and remember, because that's a guttural, it's going to take, it can't take a vocal schwa. Okay, so just know that. So it does want tonality, so it put a hetaf there. And then the name. You may have seen it already. You may have seen this already. It won't hurt you to see it again. I just want to make sure that you actually saw it. You can always speed this up and make it go away. Okay. We know that if we don't know by now, we know that we're getting rid of those two. So when we bring down the problem, the pretonic will be a mem and a hey. And then we have the het. All right. And then the noon. The het and the hetaf, and then the noon. Finishing the word. Het, the cha, and the neem. And the neem. All right. Hopefully that works. Hopefully that works. Okay, so it looks like we checked out pretty well, and we are at our end of our video. I know it's a long video. However, I think it's important that we do well. And as we do well, as we practice, as we pause, as we give as much time as we can, we will perfect what it is that God wants us to have. Right? Please let me know if you see something that's crazy, if some of the screens didn't work, or the concept. If you didn't understand the concept, I do these videos for you guys. I do these videos for me too. It makes me do it over and over and over and over and over again, so that it's perfected. And so know that I want to make sure that we are studying well, and that we have resources at our fingertips. And I want you all to be successful. I want myself to be successful. I want people to fall in love with God's word, fall in love with the Hebrew text. There's stories upon stories that we can glean, that we can get to a deeper level of understanding simply because we're reading the Hebrew. Now, we're not there yet. We're not doing exegesis right now. We're just trying to get you to a place where you can start reading the text. Once we start getting into verbs, your eyes are just going to light up. Right now, we're doing the more mundane things like the nouns, the articles, and the conjunctions and the prepositions. But boy, I tell you what, once you get into the verbs, for me anyway, maybe I'm just nerdy, but once you get into the verbs, I think you're going to see just some cool stuff that causes you to pause and think and wonder, wow, what does the Hebrew say that the English just can't say, simply because of the nature of interpretation and translation. So with that said, let me shut up and pray and finish this video. And I pray that you will get back with me and let me know what you thought of this video, that you've even watched it towards the end. Really appreciate if you do that. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to be your teacher, be your rabbi. Now, not a rabbi, but be your teacher, so that I can grow. And hey, Lachinda, you recognize Gregoritis, Ticketintepisti, Karate Uste, Andresis, Karate Uste. Be alert, remain in the faith, be strong, be courageous like an Olympian, right? Amen. Amen. And just stand strong and know that God's got you. All right. God bless you. Father, we thank you for your word in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. See you later.